Hey
Andrew,
Jeff,
happy
what's
Halloween,
going on?
my friend.
Yeah, you too.
Man, what an exciting moment. Yeah, perfect timing for your book, Too Scared to Sleep. So thank you for joining me this
Yeah,
morning.
of course. Thank you for having me.
Well, Andrew, it's your debut novel. Why the short story format?
I think growing up, I didn't really like to read super long books, so I was biased to writing short stories, and also packing the short movies in there. I think it makes it super easy to digest and consume.
And what are some of the themes for your stories in your first novel?
If you've seen the show Black Mirror or you grew up reading Goosebumps, that's sort of the vibe that I went with and the themes. So it's sort of like the dark side of social media and technology. I would say like that's sort of the theme. And then, kind of looking into the future, what could happen with tech if it went wrong, or what would happen, if there's a dark version of YouTube. So that was the general vibe.
And where do you get your inspiration for some of your stories? Do they come at the most bizarre places and times?
It does. I mean, it does. I'll be at the gym and it'll just like hit me. And I'm like, ooh, get chills. And night, day, morning, whenever. Sometimes it'll just hit me, but yeah, it's hard to control sometimes.
Be in the kitchen and go, a garbage disposal that feeds on flesh. That's a good idea.
Exactly. No, that's 100% right. When you spin that thing, you're like, oh my God, it goes pretty fast.
So you're no stranger to the horror genre. Have you always been fascinated with horror films or with that kind of literature?
I think I've actually always been a very scared person. And I think that's made me a good horror writer. And so whenever I get scared or get spooked, I'm like, okay, maybe that could be a good concept. I do now love the genre and I watch all the films, but I'm totally in the back of the theater, kind of like this.
And this is unique too because it's a cross-platform storytelling. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's right. So I included 30 short movies in the book as well that are accessible via a QR code. And so you're able to scan that with your phone's camera, no app necessary, and you can access an actual short movie that's related to the story that you've just read. And I think that was something I wanted to do and sort of mix up the book business a little bit and add movies.
That's so cool because Hollywood came calling for you a long time ago. I was looking at some of your credits. Do you think maybe that this novel you might have an anthology series or adapt them to a feature film?
I hope so. I think so. I definitely wrote "Too Scared to Sleep" in mind of what it could look like visually, and then the short movie should show you what it could potentially look like in real life. So I definitely wrote that in mind, and from my past experiences of working on set.
And you have a huge following on social media platforms. How do you interact with your fans?
So yeah, mainly TikTok. I'll share short stories on TikTok and Instagram. I like to go live, really, really any which way, but I'd say like the number one way I like to sort of talk to my fans is by sharing short stories for free, just online. And whether it's horror, romance, or sci-fi, I'm always down to share a story.
And since it's Halloween, do you have a favorite horror film?
Favorite horror film? I got to go with It. I love that. I love that film. I think it's super spooky, and I love the book.
A good one. And for Halloween, do you celebrate it? Are you going to dress up this year? Any parties this weekend?
I do. I think I'm going as a cowboy. Maybe I gotta go switch it up to like go like as a haunted cowboy. Um, in true horror writer form. But yeah, I'm super excited.
That's awesome. Well, Andrew, congratulations on your first novel, Too Scared to Sleep. And I appreciate your time. And let's talk again soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. I love the shirt, by the way.
Just for you, buddy.
Thank you.